Alright, hello, this is episode 3 of Bee University, and I'm Floristar, your bee guide for today, and, well, the other days, and days in the future, and stuff like that. So, I'm starting off exactly where I left off, and we're going to analyze more bees, and I'll talk to you about all the different things that you can learn from a beealyzer. So, let's grab one of these princesses. Let's grab that forest princess and see what we get. So, as you can see, like I mentioned, even though this is forest, it's actually a forest common. So there was a mutation that occurred. And, you know, everything is normal-ish. And as you can see, the fertility in this one is 2. Fertility in this one, 3. So the only one that really matters is this one, because that's the one that is active, but it's holding on to this gene. So keep, you know, when you're combining things, you know, you have to keep what it's holding on to in mind. You know, all the rest is the same as the other bee. And as you can see for this one, you have a whole bunch of, you know, more mutations than just with a common bee, which is this one. So this tells you forest with meadows, gets you the common. And forest and meadows sometimes can get you this special bee. Which, this is going to be the only time I'm really going to talk about it, so if you miss it, I'm sorry, but this is the only time I'm talking about it. This is the leopard bee. A lot of people will go through bee breeding and be like, why do I only have 25 out of 26? How do I get the 26th one? It's because of this bee. This is the leopard bee. It's also called the Easter bee. Basically, it was a bee added just for fun, and you can only get it during the Easter season. So about the first 2 weeks of April. Sengir coded it so that you could only get it during those 2 weeks. I've heard that maybe you can use your system clock. I've never tried it. I don't want to mess with my system clock. I'm not going to mess with my system clock. If you want to try it, mess with your system clock. Have fun. So yeah, that's the only time I'm going to talk about that. But yeah, that's what that bee is. And if we look at any of the other bees, a lot of them are probably going to be similar. You know, we'll just grab a random meadows princess. Put it in, and you got meadows common. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to get to analyzing, and then we will move on with what the rest of the today will bring. Alright, so one neat little feature of the beealyzer that I wanted to show you is if you put honey drops in here and close it, they'll stay in there. Pretty cool, huh? Just wanted to let you know, I also installed red power. I got a little punnett square ready. We'll go over that later. And I'm just beealizing, so I'm going to keep beealizing so that you guys don't have to watch me do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I beealized a lot of bees, and you could say, whoa, holy cow, Flora, you have a lot of bees, what are you going to do with all of them? Well, I could stick them in a diamond chest, but Sengir actually added a chest specifically for this purpose. It's called the apiarist chest. This is what the recipe is. It's glass, chest, and some honeycomb, so it's pretty easy to make. And I dropped my beealyzer on the floor, of course. So let's grab us some wood. This in there. And some glass. And we'll make a chest. And put a piece of glass on top. Some honeycomb around the bottom. And we got an apiarist chest. And I'll just throw that on the ground for right now. Drop that off. Pick that up and drop that off. And let me see, where do I want to put this? I guess I'll put it over here. As you can see, when I open the apiarist chest, like I said, it didn't delete my history, so probably should delete my history. I'm going to go do that. I'll be right back. Something I just wanted to show you real quick while I finish doing all these, and I did reset the thing, is you can shift click. So if you shift click, it goes right in, and it's really quick and easy, and yep. And yep, so I'm going to keep organizing, and I'll show you what I'm going to do in a sec. Alright, so something that I like to do in Bee University, and I'm going to do it here, is I'm going to set up a wall of apiarist chests. I cheat to help you learn, just remember that. Alright, so what we're going to do is this first row is going to be a whole bunch of things that come from a hive. So, in this first one, we're going to put And what's cool is if you shift and click with a sign, you can put a sign on an apiarist chest. So what we're going to do is we're going to do pure forest in this one. We're going to put a chest on top. Again, right click to put the chest, or else it'll open the chest. We're going to put pure meadows. And then the rest of the, from the hive bees, will keep going up. Next to that, we're going to put hybrid meadows, forest. Basically, any bee that has forest as its active trait but is not pure will go in the hybrid forest, and we will get hybrid meadows. Cool. So let's sort what we have so far. I put a whole bunch of these in here to save on space. And while I'm at it, once these two are going to be the hive rows, so after that's going to be the common branch. So we'll have our pure common. And these chests do not care about any of the other traits. All we're looking at right now is species. So keep that in mind. There's more advanced bee breeding that cares more about other traits, but that's not this one. So right now we're going for species. We're going for basics. So let's see what bees we have on us. We have some hybrid meadows. So hybrid meadow, hybrid meadow, hybrid meadow, hybrid meadow, hybrid meadow, and so forth. And I'm going to sort everything. And that one didn't get beealized. And actually something I like to do is these are going to be only for drones, because you get a lot more drones than you do princesses. You will only get one princess every time you breed something. So we're actually going to have a separate chest, maybe right there. And that's going to be our princesses chests, because we're going to keep using the same princesses over and over and over. I'm not going to try to get new princesses every time. So I'm going to sort over these, and I'll be right back. Alright, everything's all sorted. As you can see, we didn't get any pure meadows or forests, and I'll explain why that is in a little bit. We got a whole bunch of hybrids, some pure commons, and some hybrid commons, and all our princesses. So, I'm going to get cleaned up a little bit, and I'll be right back. Alright, so while I'm waiting for that to die so that it'll show up in my bee breeding history after I deleted it, I wanted to explain to you this punnett square. So this is my punnett square. I made it with red power micro blocks. I have a whole bunch of things over here. Let's grab a bee just to use. And we'll grab these. No, we'll grab these. Yes. Alright, so if I take a bee and a beealyzer, you can see that some things are in pink and some things are in blue. This is dominant and recessive. Pink things are dominant, blue things are recessive. Alright, keep that in mind. So, when we go over to our punnett square, this red dot that I'm holding, and actually should get a pickaxe so I can pick things up. Pickaxes are better for doing micro blocks. I don't know why. It's just how it is. I should probably move those too. Those are my from the hive princesses that I had before. So this red block will stand for meadows. This cyan block will stand for common, not common, forest, excuse me. And this will stand for common. Makes sense, right? We also have what's going to stand for dominant and recessive. Pretty cool. Let me just, yeah, micro blocks take a while without a pick. Alright, so, what did we mix over there? We mixed pure meadows. So we have our meadows. And I like making it look pretty. And we have pure meadows. Now, mind you, when you look at a beealyzer, you have the active and inactive gene. And that's what this stands for. The active, inactive. Okay? Okay. And I did not leave enough room to do this right. Right back. Gonna fix this. Alright. I fixed it. Woot. Alright. so we have our meadows and our forest. So if we grab one of our bees over here. Now mind you, these traits will always be either recessive or dominant. You're not going to have, you know, a forest that suddenly has, if you look, forest is dominant and meadows is dominant. It's not going to suddenly change so that forest or meadows is recessive. So those will never change. Alright, so next to all these, since they're all dominant, we're going to put a little dominant wire to show that they're dominant when we look at it. And when they mix, all that you have to do is, you know, so you take what's on this side and you're just going to put it in every square. Basically, from here you go across, you fill in. From here you go across, you fill in. And then from the top, you're going to fill in. And from the top, you're going to fill in. Now, if for instance, it's not, but if for instance this was actually recessive, then you would want to make sure that in all these pairings, the dominant one came first. So when a dominant and a recessive mix, the dominant will always be active, okay? When they're both dominant, like this one, or they're both recessive, which can happen, basically it's a 50-50 chance of which one's the active one. So the code will be like, okay, so they're both the same, they're both dominant or they're both recessive. Let's flip a coin to see which one comes first. And whichever one comes first will be what the princess is. Or, you know, what the children will be. And keep in mind that it does this process for every single child. So, you know, the princess, it'll go through one process. The first drone, the second drone, etc., etc., etc. So that's why you can have sometimes one of your bees will have the mutation and none of the others will. It can happen. So, as you can see, when you mix a pure and a pure, you will get 4 hybrids. So if you want to get mutations, your best chances of doing it are with pures, okay? Now, say for instance, we wanted to try to get more commons, you know, so we have this bee, which is, I want to check, a common meadows. Yeah, that's a handy thing. After you beealize something, the hybrid and a lot of important things about it will show up in the tooltip, which is pretty cool. So this one's a common meadows, so let's do that. Let's make our common meadows. And both common and meadows are both dominant, so got to keep that in mind. And let's see what we can mix it with. Let's see what other else we have. So this is our drone, so what princesses do we have? Well, we have a common princess and we have a common forest princess. So let's see, you know, let's look at those 2 chances and see what we have. Hello, sheep. Goodbye, sheep. So let's look at common first. Alright, common. So this one will be pure common because you have gray coming from the top and you have gray coming from the side. Alright, this one will also be pure common. Because you gray top, gray side. And these 2 I shouldn't have deleted half of that, but oh well. Will be common meadows. And mind you, you know, common can be first, meadows can be second, it can switch, but they're both dominant, so why am I removing that again? You think I learned the first time. Alright, so we have basically a 50% chance, 2 out of 4, to get pure common from this. But what if this was a common forest? Alright, so this one would be the same, but this one would not. Alright? This one would be the same, this one would not. So basically, the percentage for this one is you have 25% chance plus 25% chance times 15% chance because you have that mutation chance for this combination. So yeah, not as good. So the best way to get a pure is to mix a pure with a hybrid. If you don't have that, then you have a 25% chance when you mix two hybrids. So, little lesson on bee Mendelian genetics, as I like to call it. Now, mind you, every single trait, well, almost every single trait in here can be determined using these punnett squares. Lifespan can, speed can, flowers can, fertility can. Area doesn't usually change. There's a couple bees that it'll change for, but for the most part it won't change. Effects can. Climate and humidity cannot. Climate and humidity are always linked to the species. So commons will always require the same climate and humidity. Meadows will always require the same climate and humidity. Alright? The tolerances can be determined. Nocturnal, flyer, and cave dwelling can also all be determined. And the possible production is also linked to the species. So that cannot be determined with punnett squares. Alright? So let me figure out what I'm going to do next and I'll be right back. So the bee that I was working on to basically make it so that this will show up the right things in terms of species and this finish, so I can show you. So if you mouse over a bee that's in your inventory when you have a apiarist chest open, or that's in the chest itself, it will show you all the different combinations. Basically, if a bee shows up under another bee, like under meadows, you have a forest bee down there, that means that a mutation has been found between the two. It doesn't tell you what the mutation is, like the beealyzer, but it will tell you, okay, you found the combination that comes from this. So, as you can see, we have meadows and forest together have a combination, and we don't have anything for common yet. So, I'm going to finish putting these away, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I think to end this video, since, you know, looking in my chest over here, we do have a pure common princess, and we have pure common drones. So I'm going to show you how I like to make my auto bee pure, I don't know what to call it, my pure breed automation system. Sure, go with that. Okay, so first thing to note, we're going to grab a random apiary. I know I have some in a chest over here. I'm horrible. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we're going to grab a jungle hive, and we'll grab a scoop. Alright, so jungle hive, break, get tropical bees. Now, when we beealize tropical bees, as you can see, tropicals is actually recessive. Flowers, jungle, also recessive. Area, also recessive. Well, it was on the other one too. And they have effect poison, which is recessive, luckily. That's good. Warm and damp, so they like warm and damp climates, and they have some tolerances, which these tolerances actually allow them to live in normal biomes. We'll get to the wall of tolerances later. It's going to be a little special. Maybe we'll do it now. Yeah, we'll do it now. So we will get back to automating in a second if we have enough time. So the wall of tolerances, where do I want this to go? I'll put it over here. So I'm going to get it built and get ready to do it, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I made my little wall over here, and this will be the wall of tolerances. Alright, so there's two types of tolerances, as you saw in the beealyzer. There is temperature tolerance and humidity tolerance. So, let's see. Did I do this right? I think I did. Yeah, okay. So, this will be temperature. Okay, so the temperature from lowest to highest. So when you see the up and down arrows, basically down will be left on the scale, up will be right. Okay? So you have icy, cold, normal, warm, not worn, warm, hot, and hellish, if I can type. Okay? And then the other way, we're going to have humidity. And this one only has 3 options. So, from, again, this will be lowest, this will be highest. So we have arid, normal, and damp. Okay? Okay. So, let's go back to those tropical bees. Grab them. Stick one in the beealyzer. Alright, so as you can see, we have warm with down 1 and up 1. This is also known as both 1. Okay? So, we have warm, down 1, so it can work in normal, and up 1, so it can work in hot. Okay? And for humidity, we have damp with down 1, so it can work in damp and normal. So jungle bees can actually work in normal biomes from the hive. This was changed since my video that showed how to, let me get out of creative, from my video that showed how to make bees work in normal biomes. Sangear made it so that they can work from normal biomes from the hive. So we're going to put these in, and we're going to need a fern, which, like I said in the last episode, you can shear. And this should poison me in a second. Basically, every tick or something around there, it goes through a percentage chance to poison, and should poison me. Maybe. Hopefully. If not, oh well. It's poison. It works the exact same as cave spider poison. So, what this bee will give us is, if we take it out a sec, and I show you, is this comb, which is called a silky comb. So, instead of waiting, why don't I just show you what the silky comb will get us in our centrifuge. So, if we take a silky comb, grab this, put it in, turn it on. No, you're not going to poison me? No, you don't want to poison me? I'm a little hurt. Am I wearing an apiary suit? Nope. Oh well, guess it doesn't want to poison me. Alright, so as you can see, we get honey drop and silky propolis. Now, silky propolis can actually be re-centrifuged. And sometimes that happens and you get nothing. That can happen. There's basically percentage chance for every single drop from the combs. Honey drop you'll usually get because it's usually 90% chance in most cases, but sometimes you don't. So if we centrifuge that, sometimes you'll get silk wisp, and sometimes you'll have to use more to get what you want. Rawr. There's other ways of getting what we want, but, you know, we'll go with this for now. So let's, no? Is it going to work? No. Darn you, RNG! No? Huh? No. Anyway, well, what we want to make while that's working is we're going to make some apiarist pipes, which I'm looking for. Am I blind? I might be blind. Who knows? I might be blind. Alright. Well, what we're trying to get from those silky propolis is, if you see, when you centrifuge your silky propolis, you have a 10% chance to get propolis and 60% chance to get silk wisps. And if you don't have the NEI plugin, get it. It's kind of awesome. So yeah. So what we want is we want some propolis to get some unnamed. Really? It's unnamed. Sangir, it's a bug. Anyway, so we want to get some unnamed, which can't look up. Awkward. Anyways, figures. When I want to do bee university, there's bugs. I love bugs. Alright, so if you take a diamond transport pipe and put propolis on either side of it, you'll get some apiarist pipes, also known apparently as unnamed. I love that. I really do. So let's see if we can find it, since we can't search for it. Nope. It's going to be difficult. Let me figure out what to do. Alright, so I actually didn't really have to worry about it. These things can still be crafted, even though they can't be pulled out of NEI, which is weird. So if you take a propolis on either side, diamond transport pipe in the middle, you get unnamed, also known as the apiarist pipe. Woot. So like I said, you know, one of the easy ways to get propolis in the beginning is by finding some jungle bees and doing it this way. There's also another way. If you take a squeezer, which is crafted like this, it's like a carpenter but with tin, and you turn this off. We're just gonna put this here, and you squeeze some honey drops. So let's grab some honey drops. And you grab a wrench so that you can rotate your engine. Squeeze. Up here, basically, where you would get mulch if you were squeezing apples, or I can't think of anything else right now. If you're squeezing things out of cans, I think you get tin back. You have a chance every time to get some propolis. 5% chance. So it's less, but hey, you're getting liquid honey out of the process, right? And liquid honey can be used, oh look, we got a propolis. Liquid honey can be used for a couple things. It can be used in place of juice when you want to make biomass production more effective. It can also be used in the standalone analyzer, which we'll get to in a little bit actually. So, be right back. Alright, so this episode ran a little longer than I wanted, so I guess bee automation will be next time, and we'll start with that, I promise. Promise. So until next time, I'm Floristar, and this is Bee University number 3. See you next time. Bye.